Chapter 13. As Lulu and Miss Solinsky stared at each other across the wreckage of the room, Lulu began to chant her little chant. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, that babysitter's got to go. Hot or cold or sun or snow, that babysitter's got to go. Soon, not later, fast, not slow, that babysitter's got to go. Up and down and to and fro, that babysitter's got to go. Forehead, belly, knee and toe, that babysitter's got to go. Ha, 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 and ho, 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 babysitter's got to go. She's pretty determined. This time, however, Lulu didn't bother to chant her chant secretly under her breath to herself or all alone in her bed. Instead, she chanted it loudly and outrageously and shamelessly while standing face to face with Miss Solinsky, who was not amused. You are, she told Lulu, an impudent, insolent, insubordinate child. Impossible, incorrigible, insufferable. I'm not quite sure what all those words mean, said Lulu to Miss Solinsky. Why don't you give me a minute to look them up? I am not amused, said Miss Solinsky. But you are in trouble, said Lulu. In really big trouble. I'm taking pictures. And that's what, click, 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 she started doing, of how you completely and totally wrecked my room. And click, click, click. I'm ready to send them right this minute to my mom and my dad. And why would you do that? Asked Miss Solinsky. Because when they see what you've done to my room, said Lulu, I'm sure they'll be flying back home on the very next plane. What? Well, what do you know? Just as you may be suspected, this was Lulu's plan D, and it has worked. I did what I had to do, Ms. Solinsky told Lulu. I make no apologies. That's what it means to be a trained professional. But that's probably not what it means to be, Lulu said. And I'm quoting directly the best babysitter in town, maybe the world. Let me say once again that I make no apologies, Ms. Solinsky told Lulu. But clearly my training to be a babysitter wasn't nearly as exhaustive or effective as my training to be a spy. Whoa, 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 whoa. What was that? What in the world was that? What did Miss Galinsky just say? Excuse me, gasped an astounded, amazed, and goggle-eyed Lulu. Did you just say spy? I did, Miss Zielinski reluctantly replied. I never should have said it. That was a terrible breach of security. But I did. You personally were trained to be a spy? Asked a stupefied Lulu. Trained and served as a spy, said Miss Solinsky loudly and proudly. She was clearly enjoying Lulu's adoring attention. Here's Lulu super surprised that Miss Solinsky is a spy. Code name Triple S. Another security breach, but never mind. Code name? She had a code name? Triple S was her code name. Lulu loved it. So wait, Lulu said, you trained and served as a spy, and now you're a former spy, a retired spy, and at present a full-time babysitter whose specialty, you may recall, is babysitting especially difficult children. The especially difficult children stuff should have made Lulu angry all over again, except she was too thrilled about the spy stuff. She stood there, saying nothing, but her brain was churning, after which it turned and turned some more, after which came the following conversation. Lulu, a former spy, a retired spy, not a spy anymore, but it sounds like you still remember how to do it. Ms. Zielinski, of course I remember. Once a spy, always a spy. Lulu. And may I call you Triple S? Did you, Triple S, have lots and lots of amazing spy adventures? Ms. Solinsky, amazing and successful. In fact, I was so good at my work that I wound up being named head of all spy training. a spy so good that she was a trainer of spies? Lulu was so excited she could hardly breathe. She pressed a hand against her chest to calm her pounding heart and then asked the question that she was burning to ask. Would you? Could you? Please, dear Triple S. Did she just say dear? Would you stay here and train me to be a spy? Train her to be a spy? Lulu wanted spy training from the very exact same woman about whom she'd repeatedly been chanting those most exceptionally unfriendly chants? Miss Solinsky looked long and coldly at Lulu. Excuse me, she said, but what's happened to all those cute little eeny, meeny, miny moes? What's happened to those photographs you were sending to your parents to get them to fly back home on the very next plane? Weren't you only recently trying all kinds of fiendish tricks to get me to go? And now all of a sudden you want me to stay? Lulu hung her head. She was actually embarrassed. But Lulu being Lulu, she only stayed embarrassed for a few seconds. It's true, she told Ms. Zelinsky, that I wanted you, the babysitter, to go. But I definitely want you, the spy, to stay. I just this minute decided that I want to be a spy when I grow up, and you are the perfect person to teach me how. Why would I want to do that? Asked Ms. Zelinsky. Because I really want you to, answered Lulu. That's it? Said Ms. Zelinsky. Because you want me to? Do you usually get what you want just because you want it? Usually, said Lulu. Are you saying yes? There's no reason in the world for me to say yes, said Ms. Solinsky. Actually, there is, said Lulu, a warning tone in her voice. If I send out these pictures of my wrecked room to my mom and my dad, plus the entire universe, everyone will think that you are the worst babysitter in town, maybe the world. Sonia Sophia Solinsky, trained professional. Ha! Your reputation would be dog poop. You are without a doubt, said Ms. Solinsky, the most especially difficult of all the especially difficult children I've babysat. But I wouldn't be, said Lulu, suddenly switching to a pretty pleased tone of voice, if I were being trained as a spy instead of being babysat by you. I'd obey your every command. I'd do whatever you told me to do. I'd want to do brisk runs and bean and beet omelets. Miss Zelinsky, whose face had been as stern and as stony as something carved on a mountain, seemed to be softening just a little bit. She did not want Lulu's parents to come home and fire her. There's Miss Zelinsky thinking. She did not want her reputation to be dog poop, and training a spy would certainly be more interesting than being a babysitter, even if the spy she'd be training was Lulu. Total obedience? She asked. Total, Lulu promised. I'll get back to you with my answer in an hour, said Miss Solinsky. Meanwhile, clean up as much of this mess as you can. Lulu started to say no way was she cleaning up this mess, and then she realized that wasn't a good idea. Instead, she stood up straight, clicked her heels, saluted, and said, yes, sir, to Miss Zelinsky, except this time she was saying it so earnestly, so respectfully, so politely that Miss Zelinsky wasn't not amused.